Hello, everyone. Welcome back or welcome to Packet AI webinars, helping you guys build an AI-ready organization. So let's just hop right in. I'm one of your hosts, Ashley, and I'm going to be in the background, just helping with polling and tooling and all of that. And then we have our speakers, Petri Similan and Ravi Kiran Patil, and I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hello, everyone. I hope you are feeling great. I know I am feeling great. So my name is Petri Simolin. I'm a PM for PowerCat Engineering at Microsoft.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ravikant Patil. I'm part of PowerCat Engineering. I'm responsible for all the technical changes for the Copilot Studio Kit. Thank you.
So now we're going to get into Copilot Studio Kit in action, validate, monitor, and optimize your agents. Very exciting stuff. So the agenda, what is Copilot Studio Kit? Copilot Studio Kit features at a glance, validate, monitor, and optimize. Remember, we were talking about that. Productivity features, additional capabilities, a demo, very exciting, or a couple demos probably, and then the Q&A that I mentioned.
Before we jump into the actual features, let's talk about Copilot Studio Kit at high level for a moment, because I saw that there were many in the poll who have not heard about Copilot Studio Kit or have not even evaluated it. So I just want to give you the high level. So what is Copilot Studio Kit? So it's an open source, free to use Power Platform solution, and it's a different from Copilot Studio. So it complements Copilot Studio. Copilot Studio Kit is a toolkit developed by PowerCat Engineering over at Microsoft. It's distributed in GitHub, it's distributed in app source, and it augments Copilot Studio features in areas of testing, analytics, and more. And it's not just for makers, it's not just for administrators, it caters to both of those roles and everything in between, power users, department heads, and you will learn more once I start talking about them, the features. Let's the next slide here. So, lots of features. Don't be scared. I will not be reading through all of these, and you don't have to learn these. I wanted to include this slide to show you that Copilot Studio Kit is not a one-trick pony, because when Copilot Studio Kit was launched long time ago, relatively long time ago, it started out with test automation. And in many people's minds, when they hear Copilot Studio Kit, they think about test automation. But this list of features, I want to show you that it's not just test automation anymore, even though it's one of the hero features of Copilot Studio Kit. There's so much more. It has grown so much over the years. So there's productivity features, there's monitoring features, there's so much more. And you can see some of the screenshots on the right side as well. And now let's kick off the actual session with validate, monitor, and optimize. And we will be talking about test automation, agent inventory, and conversation KPIs features. And I want to remind you that we have that lengthy demo towards the end after my introduction to these features, so you will learn more about these features and get the details that you want to know. So before we talk about the Copilot Studio Kit test automation, let's talk about testing Copilot Studio custom agents in general. So when do you test them? How do you test them? And so on. So I've collected few examples here. So development time testing, that's an obvious thing, right? Like when you are developing new topics, you are adding new knowledge, you use the test pane in Copilot Studio. By the way, the screenshots are from Copilot Studio, not Copilot Studio Kit. You use the test pane to make sure that the flow is moving forward as expected. The topic is functioning as it should. That's the development time testing. And test pane in Copilot Studio is perfect tool to do that kind of testing. It gives you the activity map, and it's a great tool to do development time testing. And then there's knowledge testing. I wanted to include knowledge testing specifically. When you are adding new knowledge sources to your custom agent, you are changing knowledge sources on existing custom agent. you can use test pane to make sure that the new knowledge source is being utilized on your topics and it's behaving as it should. And there's also agent evaluation, which was announced in Microsoft Build earlier, which is now in private preview, and that will help with knowledge testing like a lot. You can do much more with it, but it contributes mostly to knowledge testing. And then the rest of the testing examples here, they are more complex. So regression testing, for example, so that's testing for unintended side effects or regressions after you make changes to your agent configuration. Then we have end-to-end validation, that you do to validate your core scenarios of your custom agent, end-to-end, multi-step validation. And then we have adversarial testing. Adversarial testing is done to ensure that the agent does not surface inappropriate topics or disclose information outside of its intended scope. Say something that it's not supposed to. So these kind of testing, test pane is not ideal tool, because if you think about regression testing, you obviously want to cover as much of the functionality of your custom agent as possible. So it might mean running like 50 tests or even 200 tests. And test pane is not ideal tool for that. It's error prone, and humans manually would have to do it. So that's when Copilot Studio Kit test automation comes to rescue. So what does Copilot Studio Kit test automation allow you to do? So it gives you the ability to do bulk testing of custom agents with a click of a button. It's easy as that. So it supports creating test cases using multiple test types. Ravi Kiran will be talking about the test types in detail during the demo, so I will not cover the details here. And those test types, those test cases, they can leverage, or they will leverage, information from multiple sources, not just the test utterance, what you say to the agent and what agent responds back, but also information from app insights, conversation transcripts, depending on the test type for that test case. So that information is used to determine whether the test should pass or fail. And then there's end-to-end validation that Copilot Studio Kit test automation can do for you. It allows end-to-end validation of the core scenarios of your custom agents using multi-turn tests. So multi-turn it's a special test type built in Copilot Studio Kit test automation that it can consist of several regular test types. So all the other test types that we have available, you can create test cases of any of those types within multi-turn, and those will be executed in the defined sequence in single conversation context. So you can establish this end-to-end validation for your custom agent. And then test sets can also be reused. It's not like that you need to have test set per agent. In some cases, like adversarial testing, one test set can be run against multiple agents. There are these generic test sets such as adversarial testing, like I mentioned. And test runs can be created with multiple configurations. Just choose your test set to choose the agent that you want to test, and with the click of a button, you can start executing and seeing results. And then finally, what I want to mention is that Copilot Studio Kit test automation supports pipelines in Power Platform to integrate to your existing CI/CD process to automatically run test set and add that quality gate in the pipeline before publishing agent into production. So that's Copilot Studio Kit test automation in a nutshell. And so what's the benefit then? So obviously, you can validate the core scenarios of your custom agent, validate that core scenarios are functioning as intended, because that's super important. And through regression testing, you can be sure that the configuration changes on your custom agent, they don't cause any unintended side effects or regressions. And you want to discover any issues before they end up in front of customers, obviously. So that's the primary goal of regression testing. And with adversarial testing, you can gain confidence that the agent doesn't discuss any inappropriate topics, disclose any information that it's not supposed to disclose. And through adversarial testing, you can easily discover any knowledge or moderation misconfiguration. So those are the few of the benefits of this type of additional testing. Then moving from test automation to Copilot Studio Kit Agent Inventory. So Agent Inventory provides additional visibility to Copilot Studio custom agents and their configuration. So visibility is, as you know, everyone agrees, cornerstone of governance. So Agent Inventory helps you get that additional visibility. So Agent Inventory collects detailed configuration information of your custom agents and provides dashboard with an overview of information such as AI feature usage, authentication methods used, and growth rate. And all those details that the agent inventory collects, they are available for in-depth analysis as well. So you are not limited to what you are seeing there on the small screenshot on the dashboard, but all the details like, does my agent use deep reasoning? Does my agent use file input or MCP? All those details that we are gathering from the agent configuration, they are available for you to sort and filter and have a look. Make sure that all the agents in your department are in compliance with the organization policies regarding these detailed configuration settings. So that's agent inventory. Moving forward. Copilot Studio Kit conversation KPIs. It analyzes the conversation transcripts for you. So conversation transcripts they are JSON files that are stored in the Dataverse, and they contain all the details of the conversations that the agent has had with users. And so conversation KPIs analyzes those conversation transcripts for you so that you don't have to do that JSON parsing. So for the selected agents, it parses those conversation transcripts. It's attempting to, provide you additional insights. We're not attempting; it's providing, such as a global outcome. As opposed to just session outcomes. It provides you information on unrecognized utterances, like when agent didn't understand what you were saying or what your intentions were. It's topic disambiguation. Agent wasn't sure what you were trying to do. And all that conversation KPI data is stored in Dataverse in a format that is easy to consume. Easy is relative, but it's easier than the JSON. So easy to consume in your custom reports. So if your organization, you have your own reports, so you don't have to use the reports that come with the conversation KPIs. You can just consume the KPIs data on your custom reports. And yeah, like I mentioned in the previous sentence, this feature comes with this rich reference dashboard that you can see on the screenshot on the top and bottom there. And that itself is sufficient for many organizations. I know that some customers just use these reports as is because it's enough for them. They already have so much information. But it can be extended or otherwise modified as required. Some organizations remove some information to make it easier to read. So it's for you to modify or use as is, however, based on your requirements. And finally, one big differentiator from the built-in analytics of Copilot Studio, which are great, but this adds something to it. So the KPI data can be stored for as long as required. So that there's no like hard data retention or hard time when the data is deleted. So this allows long-term performance monitoring and optimization of custom agents. And moving forward, so that was for the validation features. Any questions at this time? And we are monitoring the chat. You can use that for questions. So something pops up during the presentation, and we do have Q&A in the end as well. So if you can use that slot as well. If there are no questions, let me continue to productivity features. So we will be talking about webchat playground and adaptive cards gallery. Starting with webchat playground. So webchat playground in Copilot Studio Kit allows Copilot Studio webchat customization using this intuitive graphical user interface, so that you don't have to manually modify again JSON, or actually JavaScript, property array. It's not convenient. It's time consuming. So this gives you the GUI that you can just easily easy to use controls and to do the customization. And this allows customizing every aspect of the website. So everything that you can customize, you can do it with this. Not just, colors and fonts. You can change everything, like roundness of corners, icons, images, everything, background images. And it has convenient functionality built in, such as live preview. So any aspect you change, you immediately see it in the live preview, how it changes the website, and accessibility checks as well. So if there's not enough contrast between the text and the background, it notifies you about that. And finally, custom styles that you create in the playground, they can be used on existing websites. And if you are building a new website, there's a snippet provided, like HTML, with the embedded styles that you can you use to build your website on, and it provides you this sleek floating widget website experience that Ravi Kiran will be showing in the demo, so you can see how it looks like, and he will be showing how to use the tool as well. So don't worry, you will see all the details. And finally, like I mentioned in the very first slide, that the Copilot Studio Kit caters to multiple roles in the organization. So for individual maker, there's obviously the accelerated development benefit from this, but for power users or admins, this feature allows building this centralized library of pre-approved website styles that align with brand and compliance standards. So marketing has approved, CILA has approved, or legal has approved, whatever policies you have in the organization, and makers can just take those website styles and use them with confidence that they will be in compliance with all the policies. Moving to Adaptive Cards Gallery. So Adaptive Cards Gallery includes many predefined adaptive card templates tailored to real-world scenarios like event registration, end of conversation, incident report, and so on. And makers can take template from the gallery, and it is ready for production with just minor modifications in the best case, depending on your requirements, obviously. It comes with a Copilot Studio custom agent that has backend implementation samples on it. So if you want to know how data binding is done on event registration adaptive card, you can just, with a click of a link, it takes you to the backend and see how data binding is done. And same as with website playground, Adaptive Cards Gallery allows building this centralized repository of pre-approved adaptive card templates that align with all the compliance standards and are brand approved and so on. So that's the admin benefit of this feature on top of the individual maker accelerated development. And then moving on to additional capabilities section, we talk very shortly about few selected features of Copilot Studio Kit, starting with Copilot Studio Kit Prompt Advisor. So Prompt Advisor allows optimizing custom prompts through iterative process guided by this easy-to-use tool in Copilot Studio Kit. It analyzes the input prompt you feed into it and provides scoring and guides on how to improve it, gives you tips and so on. And it creates multiple optimized prompts using different techniques like zero shot, few shot, chain of thought, and optimized prompt can be analyzed further until high score is achieved. That's the kind of the greatness of this tool, that you can just keep doing it. Feed it the prompt, it gives you optimized prompts. You can select the one that you see is performing well, and you can just feed it back into the machine and optimize it further. So this allows creating optimized prompts without you having to be like a prompt engineering expert or having to reach out to prompt engineering expert to optimize your prompts. Very cool. Moving on to Agent Review Tool, Copilot Studio Kit Agent Review Tool. It's a static analysis tool for your custom agent configuration. It identifies any bad practices, potential performance or security issues that you might have in your agent configuration, anti-patterns, and it creates this actionable visual report that highlights these issues. And for each of the issue that it's highlighting, every issue that it has detected, you can drill down into that. And the tool provides additional information on the issue, and it also gives you guidance on how to fix or improve the issue. So not just showing the issues, but also giving you like actionable guidance on how to fix it. Very useful. Moving on to SharePoint synchronization, a small and a little bit hidden feature, but super useful in certain use cases. It allows configuring selective content synchronization from SharePoint sites to custom agent as local knowledge. So, why would you want to do this? So there are a couple of important benefits. So one, it can improve the end user experience with faster responses and improved indexing. So you lose the RBAC. That's something that is good to know. That's why we always or often advertise this as used for public agents, because you might want to synchronize only public content, and that's the primary use case of it. So if you need to have some knowledge from your private SharePoint site on your unauthenticated custom agent, which external users might be accessing, so you cannot use SharePoint site as knowledge source directly. So this feature allows doing the synchronization easily, automatically, and very selectively. It supports synchronizing the SharePoint modern pages as well, so ASPX pages in addition to files from SharePoint, and it supports metadata filtering, so you can have like a public equals true criteria on your SharePoint synchronization, and it will only synchronize those files. It includes dry run, so you see that the configuration is correct and how much content it would have synchronized, and it can be set to synchronize, or actually it works on schedule, and it can be synchronized on demand as well. And then we move on to conversation analyzer, and this is a little bit different. So this is experimental feature, so not response to customer feedback or request, but this is experimental feature from PowerCat engineering team, and it allows applying custom prompts on conversations. So it comes with predefined prompts for sentiment analysis and PII detection, but the core of this feature is to allow creating, storing, and applying custom prompts on recent conversations of selected agent, obviously reusing those custom prompts as well. So, and the results can be viewed on you see the list view there, and you can see the details as well, and the conversations that this conversation analyzer is analyzing. Those conversations can be viewed as it happened using the transcript visualizer. So you see, what the user said, how the agent responded, and so on. And the point of this feature is to, sometimes these custom prompts, they can provide like unique insights from those conversations, depending on what you are asking, how the custom prompt looks like, and they can help understand and improve the performance of custom agents. So this is something that we are really looking forward for user feedback, that how they are using this and how should we develop this further. Moving on to agent value summary. This is very recent addition in Copilot Studio Kit. And you can think of this feature as extension to agent inventory. It uses AI to analyze data in agent inventory, such as description, instructions, and it attempts to classify custom agents by their type, behavior, and value benefit. So, whether agent is an assistant, whether it's a collaborator, executor, and so on, and whether the core agent behavior is to decide, act, respond, or something else. And this feature helps to understand agent roles, and the primary way they create value for the organization. And results are presented visually on agent value dashboard, similarly to agent inventory as well. And then now it's the time that you have been waiting for. So we have live demo showing details, showing how to use these features, showing them in action. This is the in action part. So we have Ravi Kiran will be taking over for the demo part, but our demo has narrative. It's a storytelling thing. So let me set the stage for you before letting Ravi Kiran take over. So Ravi is playing a role of marketing manager in Ford Coffee Company. So Ford Coffee has recently introduced a customer service agent on their digital storefront, so on their web page. So response from customers has been super positive, and Ford Coffee is preparing to release the next version of their agent with many improvements and new features. So Ravi, the marketing manager, will use the features available in the Copilot Studio Kit to help ensure that the rollout goes smoothly. Go ahead, Ravi.
Thank you, Patrick. Let me know once you're able to see my screen.
Can see now.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Petri. I will just consider this as a promotion to my existing lead engineer role to marketing manager. Just kidding. Okay. So as a marketing manager, I would like to validate all my test cases against the both copy agent. Of course, I can use test pen to send a message and get a response and validate or execute any test case. But consider a scenario where I want to validate copy subscription process or entire order management flow. In that case, I may end up writing like 20, 50, or even 100 test cases. Executing those test cases using this test pen, of course, it is going to take a lot of time and it will be error prone. So that's why I'm going to switch to test automation feature within the kit, which allow us to do bulk validation of test cases against any agent. So we can execute 100, 200, or even 500 test cases in one go. So before using test automation feature or executing test cases, I need to create the agent configuration record. So I will just click on new button and then I will show you how to create that agent configuration record. The agent configuration record is a global configuration record for some of the features within the kit, like test automation or conversion KPI or file synchronization. Let me focus now on the test automation. Once we select the test automation related fields will get displayed. To start with direct line settings, these settings will be used to connect to an agent either using token endpoint or web channel security secret, which you can store within Dataverse, but of course with the column level profile, security profile enabled. And if you want additional security, you can also store those secrets within the keyword and refer it by environment variable. Once we have direct line settings, we can go to user authentication, where we can tell like whether we are authenticating with an unauthenticated agents or whether we are going to do the test automation with the agent where manual authentication is set using intra-ID v2 client secrets. Right now, I'm going to test unauthenticated both copy agents. So I am not going to do anything here, but in future, if we are moving towards the manual authentication, we need to create a separate app for the Copilot Studio Kit and specify the details over here. Next to this, we can enable different enrichment settings like application insights or maybe generative AI testings to validate generative answer type of test. So we have certain type of logs within application insights which we can use to validate generative answer type of test. And then if you want to validate the intent of the incoming message, we can of course go to the conversation transcripts and enrich that with the whatever details we are having within the conversion transcripts. We can specify the database URL where the agent resides and the actual agent ID. Optionally, we can select the copy full transcript flag, which will copy the conversion transcript onto the result record. I'm not going to create a new agent configuration record because I have already created both copy agent configuration record for my demo. So in this, I'm going to use token endpoint to connect to my agent. Then because it's unauthenticated agents, I'm going to set up as a no authentication. And then additionally, I'm going to use all the enrichments like application insights enrichments, conversion transcripts, generative AI testing, and so on. Once I'm good with the agent configuration record, I will switch to test set. So where I will create the test set. Test set is basically a logical grouping of test cases. It's just a container to hold different types of test cases. So let's create one test set and just save it. Once we save the record, we will be presented with a subgrid where we will create a different types of test cases, starting from response match, where we do exact match. So we will pass the test returns, for example, hi, and then expected response, something like that. Or I can just copy it from here. So sorry. In this case, system will validate expected response with the whatever response which we are getting from the agent. Again, it will do string comparison based on the comparison operator, which has equal, does not equal, contains, does not contain, begins, does not begin, and so on. So in this case, the response will do exact comparison based on the comparison operator. In addition to that, we have multiple advanced parameters, and this would be applicable to all the test types. If you want to validate the greeting message, just like this, then we can use send start conversion event flag to true. If there are multiple messages from an agent, we can specify the expected position of that response message to validate that particular message. And of course, in certain cases, agent might take some time to respond to the user query. To validate those, to have additional delay, we can enter the integer number, which can be treated as a delay seconds before getting an answer. Additionally, we can set global variables while passing the user returns to direct line API using external variable JSON. We can specify JSON and the global variable values, and we can use that to execute the test cases. That's about the response match. About the topic match, we use topic match to validate the intent of the incoming message. So if we are passing something, for example, let's take an example of copy of the day. We know the answer for this is going to vary according to day of peak. So response match will not be helpful here. To validate the intent, we are asking the system to validate that the answer for this question or this test utterance should come from this topic. So underlying the system is going to validate whether the answer for this test utterance is coming from this expected topic name. Okay, so for this, we need data was conversion transcripts. So that's why for topic match, we need to enable conversion transcript enrichments on the agent config record. Moving to next type of test case. It's an attachment type of test where we can validate adaptive cards JSON using different comparison operator like equal, does not equal, contains, does not contain, and so on. And in addition to that, we can also use large language models to validate the instructions for the adaptive card JSON, which we are getting within the agent response. And I'm going to show the examples of each of this. So right now, I'm just explaining about different test types. Then we have generative answers similar to adaptive card AI validations. We are going to use large language models in the backend to validate the user instructions with the agent response which we are getting. Additionally, or optionally, we can also specify the expected generative answer outcome, like answered, not answered, filter, or moderated, or no search results to validate these answers with the logs present within application insights, because of which we need application insights enrichments as well as generative AI provided on the agent configuration record. Moving to next, we have plan validations. Right now, many of people are started creating generative orchestration enabled type of agents. So in that, whenever there's a user message, system creates a dynamic plan. And to validate those dynamic plans, we use plan validations. So where we pass the test returns and we say the answer for those test returns should come from these expected tools. And these tools can be like list of topics or list of agent tools or even list of connected agents. In addition to that, we can also pass the pass threshold, which will determine whether all these expected tools or some of the tools should come into the dynamic plan which is getting generated. For example, if we specify 100%, it means that whatever mentioned within the expected tool, all those tools should come into the dynamic plan. If we specify, for example, 50%, then half of those tools mentioned within the expected tool should come into the dynamic plan which is getting generated. And that's how it determines the result of the parent test case. So that's about like different types of tests. We have one important test type that is a multi-turn, where we can validate the entire conversation. Right now, whatever test cases, test types which we have discussed, and if we are running those as a single turn, we create different conversion context for each of these test case. But in case of multi-turn, It's basically work as a container to hold all the child test cases, which will be executed as part of single conversations. So as I said, like once we save the multi-run type of test, we'll be presented with a subgrid where we can create different types of test cases, like ranging from response match, topic match, to plan validation, which we discussed just now. In addition to that, we have two additional columns on this multi-turn child test, which defines the criticality of test in terms of critical flag and the order of test in which the test is going to be executed. Of course, let us focus on the critical flag. So critical flag is a very important when we execute the multi-run type of test. It will determine like whether the result of child test is determining the result of parent test case. So when critical flag is true on that child test, and if that child test case is a fail, then also the result the parent test will get failed and all the execution will get stopped at that moment of time. But if the critical is no, that means we are testing or we are executing non-critical test, and if that test case will get failed, it will not affect the result of parent test case or even the execution of test cases. Okay, so that's about the multi-turn type of test, and I'm going to showcase the existing test case. So I'm not going to create a new test set. I will show you the existing test set which I've created to validate all the requirements which we are going to deploy. So if I just drill down on the post copy agent validations, uh, right from the response match where I'm asking like about the store hours and I'm saying, okay, the expected response should be same. In this case, because I'm using comparison operator as equal, it system will validate exact match between expected response and the agent response which we are getting. If there is a match, the result of this test case will be success. In addition to that, then we have like topic match type of test where I'm asking for the copy of the day and I'm saying like the answer for this test case should come from the copy of the day topic. Then there's a couple of adaptive card type of test where in the first test case, I'm just validating or comparing our expected attachment JSON with the whatever adaptive card JSON we are getting or I will be getting from an agent. And in the second case, I'm using the validation instruction like validate that agent response should contain name and input email input fields. In this case, the underlying large language models validate the adaptive card JSON, which is there within the agent response, with the validation instruction provided with this test set. And once if it is a uh, if it is correct, then the result of this test case will be success. Then we have generative answer type of test, like where I'm asking explore copy styles and I'm giving some validation instructions, and then I'm going to use application insight telemetry logs as well. There's another generative answers in a similar fashion, but in validation instructions, you'll be see it is providing the examples of those copy brands which should be there within response. And there's a plan validations where I'm asking a couple of questions like about the daily business hours or what steps to follow to redeem a gift card. And then I'm saying system should validate that expected response or the answer should come from these topics or these tools. And I'm saying pass threshold as 100%, which means my answer should come from both these topics. So whatever dynamic plan which is getting generated, it should contain both these tools or topics. Then there's a last one that's a multi-turn type of test. Here I have created two response match type of test where first I'm asking for closest location and I'm saying, okay, can you please say, I'm saying our agent is going to respond with asking about current city or zip code. And when I will share the Pune, then agent will respond the closest store to Pune. In this case, just take a example. If I'm running this as a singleton test and I'm passing as a Pune, then agent will be surely confused what to respond. So for these cases, most of the time to validate the entire conversation, multi-turn will be useful. In the similar case, I have another test case where I'm asking about order status, and then agent is responding, "What's your order number?" And then I'm passing the order number as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then agent will be responding with the order status. So these are some examples of multi-type of test, which I've created to validate my new requirements, which we are going to deploy soon. So once I configure the agent within the kit, once I have test set ready, I'm ready to execute those test cases. So let me create a test run. Give the name to test run. Select the test set which I've created. Select the agent configuration and just save the record. Once I will save the record, the background processing will get kicked off. Based on the authentication settings on the agent configuration, it will either ask for the user authentication or it will straight away start executing the test cases. In our case, because we are validating unauthenticated agent, so that's why it will not ask for any authentication. But if we are validating or executing test cases against an manual authenticated agents, then it will ask for authentication. Once once authentication details have been checked, it will just try to read all the properties from this fourth copy agent. It will try to connect to agent. Once succeeded, it will try to execute test cases against this test set. So let me go to result grid and see it has already started executing. And if you can see, 6 of 9 test case has already been executed. And if I refresh maybe one more time, 9 out of 9 test cases have been executed successfully. Although we can see the pending status for some of the test cases, which I will explain in some time. But yeah, in the result grid, you will be able to see individual test result record for each of the test cases which we have executed. Like multi-turn or normal response match, you'll be able to see the result record for each of these test cases. And maybe I'll just do the refresh again. You'll be able to see the success for one of the multi-turn type of tests. Let me drill down on one of the result record and show you what all details we are capturing on the result. So on the left-hand side, we are capturing what we use as part of this test case, like what was the test type, what was the comparison operator, whether we have used start condition event, what was the test utterance, and so on. And on the right-hand side, we are showing the actual result of this test case, whether it's success, pending, failed, unknown, around, and so on. We have condition ID for debugging purpose, additional details in terms of result, different performance statistics like latency, message sent, received, the actual response which we are getting. In this case, we are getting adaptive card. So you'll be able to see the adaptive card JSON as well. In this case, you will be able to see the citations, suggested actions if it is present within the agent response. Additionally, you'll be able to see the enrichment results if we are enabled at the agent configuration rate level. So we'll be able to see the app insert result, topic ID, trigger topic or event, intent score, actual tools, and so on. In addition to that, you'll be also able to see the transcript for that particular conversations only for the topic match type of test. And once that topic match has successfully executed, right now it will be blank. So let me just go back and see now, like 5 out of 9 test cases has already been success. Okay, so even if I drill down on the multi-turn type of test case, both were critical test cases and the result of both of them are success. That's why the parent result test case is a success. Now in this case, as I see, like 5 out of 9 test cases are successful. So I'm feeling a bit relaxed and confident that nothing will break in the production. Thanks to test automation feature within the kit. Over to you, Petri.
Thank you, Ravi. And now we will move on to the next part of the demo, which is agent inventory. So now that the agent validation test set has completed successfully, Ravi the marketing manager, wants to make sure that the agent aligns with the organization guidance on AI feature usage, authentication, and other settings. So Ravi, the marketing manager, navigates to agent inventory where he can see all the custom agents and their configuration in a single location. So Ravi, the marketing manager, makes sure that the customer service agent and other agents he owns are compliant with the organization policies. Go ahead, Ravi.
Thank you, Patrick. As a marketing manager, I would like to know what is AI adoption rate within my organization. I would be interested to know what is the agent creation trend across months for different kinds of planning. Maybe for governance reasons, I would like to know how many unauthenticated agents are there within my organization. For all these, agent inventory is a one-stop solution for all this type of data, where we can see number of agents within the organization, how many of them are using GenAI, how many of them using tools, how many of them are using prompts, knowledge sources, and so on. It has also details about top 5 environments, which has most number of agents within the organization. Additionally, at any point of time, you can use the sync agent button to sync the latest agent data from different environments within the agent inventory tables. Not only this, but we can also have access or visibility to all the agent metadata. In this grid, you'll be able to filter that based on the environment. You can search, sort, filter, and so on. When you navigate to show more, you'll be presented with a model grid where you can do additional operation, like you can edit, add additional columns to the grid. So there are, as you can see, there are multiple columns against the agent. You can add filters. Maybe if you want to filter based on the environment or based on the different properties, you can filter based on any keywords. And of course, you can export this data to Excel spreadsheet so that you can use custom prompts to create different statistics or KPIs out of it. Let me drill down on the full copy agent and see what we have, what features we have enabled onto these agents. So if I drill down on any agent record, I can see additional details like from which environment it's coming from, what is the type of that environment, who has created that agent, what are the different features which are enabled at that agent level, whether it uses action, knowledge sources, skills, GenAI, MCP, whether it's autonomous agent, whether it uses enhanced search results, and so on. In addition to that, it also has details about like what are knowledge sources which are getting used for this agent, what are different prompts available, HTTP actions if are any, classic data sources, details about the connections, agent triggers, instructions, and so on. These are just details which are shown on the agent form, on the agent form, but there are a lot of details in the table which you can use for further analysis with the organization. Now I can see I have validated fourth copy agent. I can see the data, the features which are enabled, the components which are created on these agents looks good, and we are ready for the deployment. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, Ravi. So we will move on to the next part of the demo, which is web chat playground. So right before publishing the new version of the customer service agent into production, Ravi, the marketing manager, receives few urgent last-minute requirements from the head of marketing. Like, this never happened. So the theme of the customer service agent website must be updated to align with the new brand colors of the organization. So for this activity, Ravi, the marketing manager, navigates to the website playground feature of the Copilot Studio Kit. So with the easy-to-use interface of the website playground, he quickly selects and modifies the theme to use with the corporate approved brand colors. Go ahead, Ravi.
Thanks. As per marketing head feedback, I would like to enhance the look and feel of my web chat control. So I'm going to use a web chat playground feature within the kit, which allows us to customize our web chat control by applying different styles, colors, and fonts. It comes with a 7 carefully selected themes, which we can use as is or modify as per our need, like blue theme, navy, sunset, red, purple, and so on. Once we click on these themes, we can show the live preview in the middle section, which we call it as web chat preview. And on the right hand side, you'll be presented with the uh, CSS style sheet, which you can copy on your existing website to get the feel of this the theme which we have selected. Of course, if it is not possible, we are providing with the HTML snippet code which you can use, download, and maybe copy onto your desktop and just browse that within your browser. Just replace the token endpoint for your agent, and that's it. Additionally, we have recently introduced the web preview feature, which allows you to navigate to a static website, and you can easily view the theme which you have selected. And you can interact with that agent based on the agent completion. And additionally, you can restart the conversations. And for all this, you will see the code which is there within HTML snippet. Not only this, but you can also edit the existing themes. So you can edit the existing themes, like you can edit the accent color, background color, text, font. With this, you can change the sandbox properties. You can change the suggestion box properties. You can change the outer properties like size, border radius, border background color, border image, and so on. And additionally, you can update the bubble colors as well, like bubble properties as well, like border radius, user background color, font color, and so on. So in this way, user many large organizations can create their own gallery of the custom themes, which can be used by other makers within that organization. We can create themes as well, and we have added additional validations on this to create industry standard themes like accessibility, contrast ratio. And of course, we can create the theme, we can set the properties, and we'll be able to see the live preview and web preview as well for the new themes which we have created. Coming back to my original problem, the feedback from marketing head, I'm I'm going to scan all the themes and see whether I can use any of the existing theme. I've gone through all the themes and selected the brown theme, which is uh, pretty much same as my fourth copy agents. So I'm going to use this theme, but with small modifications. So I'm going to fix the accessibility issue first. So I will just change maybe background color little bit, and then warning gone, and then I will just change maybe background color for suggestion box by a little bit, and that's it. It uh it introduced one error. I can change the font. Now I think it looks good. I'm going to use this for my fourth copy agent. So in this way, I think I'll be able to fulfill the requirements from the marketing head, and users are going to love this new look and feel of web chat content. Thank you. Thank you, Betty.
Thank you, Ravi. And we will move to the next part of the demo, which is adaptive cards gallery. So next, Ravi, the marketing manager, addresses the final last-minute requirement to convert the coffee subscription order process from conversational format into adaptive card to streamline the subscription intake process. So Ravi, the marketing manager, navigates to adaptive cards gallery feature and locates suitable corporate approved adaptive card, which he decides to use for this purpose. Ravi, the marketing manager, modifies the template to fit the requirement and creates a new topic in the customer service agent that uses the new adaptive card. Go ahead, Ravi.
Thank you, Patrick. So to improve copy subscription process, I'm going to use adaptive card gallery feature within the kit, which is the collection of carefully selected 11 adaptive cards for different purposes within the industry. For example, account summary, which can be used within the banking industry to show the account details like this. So you'll be able to see the account summary, recent transaction, and so on. We can use the ticket information for the customer service agent to show the ticket information, or maybe to show the product return. We can use this type of adaptive cards. So in this fashion, like all these adaptive cards will be used for different purposes within different organizations. And of course, we can use this adaptive card based on our need. and we can modify as we want. So on the detail form, we will be able to see the adaptive card JSON on the left hand side and the live preview of that adaptive card on the right side. We can, of course, copy this card payload and use it on our agent. Optionally, we are providing custom agent which can be used to know or to understand how we can use those adaptive cards within an agent. So it will take some time to load. So I already opened uh, the same agents. So in this way, like you'll be able to know like how to use adaptive cards within an agent. So how to get the data from different agents and stamp it within the adaptive card, or maybe how to get the data from the adaptive card and use it for different processing within the agent. For example, coming back to this, so I have asked like order number from the user. I have searched that within the database. I have passed that, and I will just use adaptive card, stamp those values within that adaptive card, and use adaptive card for showing that on the agent. In other case, I'm just collecting information for the incident using adaptive card, and then I'm calling action to insert that data within the database. So in this way, you'll be able to see how to use those adaptive cards within an agent. Coming back to adaptive cards, of course, we have provided options to create your own adaptive card. So just like a webchat playground feature where organization can create their custom gallery of themes, here organization also can create the custom gallery of their adaptive cards, where other makers within the organization can use those cards for uh, for making their agents interactive. Coming back to our original problem, to improve copy subscription process, again, I'm going to scan and see whether I can use any of the existing adaptive cards. And I can see event registration is similar to our copy subscription process. Not similar, but I can see it has list of questions and in the different format like text box or there's a radio buttons. So I'm going to use this and create one adaptive card for copy subscription. So let me create one. So let me name it. Let me give a proper description. So it's an interactive adaptive card designed to streamline the copy subscription process. And then let me just take the existing event registration card, modify based on our need, and then copy it here. So once we save the record, we will be navigated to adaptive card detail form where we will be, of course, able to see the adaptive card and then actual live preview of that adaptive card. So if you can see, I think we have solved the problem for the copy subscription process. So user is going to use this adaptive card, fill the information, and they will be able to subscribe to the both copy. I think user is going to love that. Thanks to PowerCat team. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, Ravi. And we will move on to the next part of the demo, which is conversation KPIs. So now in the story, so new and improved version of the customer service agent has been in service for a few weeks now. And Ravi, the marketing manager, wants to see how it is performing. So Ravi, the marketing manager, navigates to conversation KPIs dashboard and goes through key metrics to see if there's anything he needs to react to or investigate further. Go ahead, Ravi.
Thank you, Pepe. Before starting conversion KPI, we need to create agent configuration record. So as a marketing manager, I have already created fourth copy agent configuration record for the conversion KPI as well, where I specify the data was URL from where where agent resides and the actual agent ID. I also specify the copy port transcript flag to copy the conversion transcript on the result record. In addition to that, I'm also tracking some variables which will get displayed on the dashboard. So there are a couple of versions to generate conversion KPI. Of course, we have scheduled jobs which runs daily, which reads this agent configuration record and create KPI records for individual conversion transcripts. And we do have on-demand version as well, where we can select the start and end date and just submit. Once we submit the record, it will just take those conversion transcripts and create a KPI records for individual conversion transcripts which we have. So once this scheduled jobs or on-demand jobs execution is completed, it will create a KPI record. So let me navigate to KPI details view and let me drill down on one of the record and show you what details it will capture. So it will capture like agent ID, user ID, conversion date, a global outcome like resolved, unengaged, partial resolved, escalated, and so on. Customer satisfaction score, if there is any, entire conversion duration, number of sessions, number of turns, and so on. There are additional details as well, like it has session details. If there are any unrecognized utterances where agent doesn't have any answer, if there are any ambiguous utterances where agent has multiple topic matched, all the topic details which are traversed across the conversation. Because I have tracked the variables, I will be able to see the data about the tracked variables. And if there are any generative answers, you will get the details about the generative answers here. In addition to that, you will also have access to that particular transcript where you will be able to see the transcript and data transcript and then actual preview of the conversation happened between user and agents. Okay, so all this data you'll be able to see on the KPI record. Once we have all these KPI records, you can use this data and you can create your own dashboards on the top of these KPI records. Right now, we are also providing sample but very rich dashboard to have all this data and matrix for all this data in a graphical manner. So let it open. So unlike Copilot Studio Portal, we'll be able to filter the agents. So right now, let me filter the post copy agent. We can also select the dates. So we can filter the data beyond 90 days, which is not possible with the out-of-box analytics, which is available on the Copilot Studio Portal. Once I select the post copy agents, I'll be able to see, okay, 583 users have been interacted with the post copy agent during this period. There were like 705 conversations and same number of sessions. Average turn was 2.77. There was like 80% engagement rate. We will get the details about resolution rate, escalation rate, customer satisfaction score, and so on. I'm able to see the user over time trend as well as session or outcomes over time trends as well. In addition to that, I'll be able to see the resolution rate drivers for different topics. And I will be able to see the number of sessions, resolution rate, escalation rate, CSAT score, and so on. As well as I'll be able to see the track variable data. Not only this, we'll also have access to individual conversations, and you'll be able to navigate to that individual conversation and able to see the actual conversation within the transcript tab. In addition to this, I'll be able to see the topic details, like if there is any ambiguity within the topic and topic utterances, I will be able to see that data and of course the number of occurrences and also details about the different triggers and topics and their segregation based on the abandoned, escalated, and resolved rates. If there are any instances where callback topic is got used, then I will be able to see the utterances and their graphical representation. And then there are any instances where generative answers is getting used, I'll be able to see the generative answers user queries and their answers. That's how I will be able to see. I'm able to see all the data of the post copy, and I'm pretty confident that post copy is running fine. There are no bottleneck as such. So yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you, Ravi. And now that everything looks good with Fourth Coffee customer service agent, Ravi, the marketing manager, decided to have a relaxing cup of coffee. And of course, from the selection of Fourth Coffee. So that's the end of the demo. Let me take over the screen real quick. I have something to share you still. It should be coming up. And let me just jump to the right slide. Something that I want to share with you still is the upcoming features. So we are working on August release of Copilot Studio Kit. I believe everything is code complete and we are in testing. So you saw Ravi showing the authentication settings for the test automation. So something that a lot of customers have asked and often is the support for Microsoft authentication, because that allows Copilot Studio Kit test automation to test agents that are specifically created to serve in the Teams channel among other agents that are using Microsoft authentication. So that's something that is upcoming in the next release. Then there's adaptive card actions test type. So it allows testing or submitting adaptive cards with information. So not just verifying that the right adaptive card is coming back as a response from the agent, but actually submitting those adaptive cards. So that's coming in the next release. And then for the test automation still, so cost information on test runs, because if you have lots of generative answer test types in your test set, you might want to know that, how much does it cost me to start this test run. So that cost information, the consumed AI builder credits, will be added in that test run for your convenience and planning purposes. And then finally, for agent inventory, this is something that I mentioned in the chat already. So we will be adding usage information. So far, agent inventory has been focusing on configuration information, but we will be adding by popular request, we will be adding usage information. So different types of messages consumed, billable, non-billable, all that information will be available in the next release. As a separate solution, I need to say, because we are using HTTP connector to get this information, and it's not allowed in some organizations. So we are releasing it as a separate solution so that those organizations who want to use this feature and allow the use of HTTP connector, they can use it, and others are not impacted.
That's the end of the session. We are at time. Thank you guys so much. Well, thank you first to our speakers. It was a great presentation, lots of engagement, as you can see. And then thank you so much to our audience. Hope you had a good session, and we hope to see you back for more of our sessions. So yeah, have a good morning, afternoon, evening, and night.